Hello, friends. Crystal here, your Vibrant BF, and today we are talking about intuition. So, each of the letters of magic I've coined for different acronyms. For example, M is for magnetized, A, aligned, G is your guided, I is your intuitive, and C is clarity. So, your magnetized, aligned, guided, intuitive, clarity is what it means to live in your magic. So, for the months of June and July, I wanted to focus on your intuition. Now, this can show up many different ways for many different people, but today I wanted to talk about four of the main clairs, if you will. So, the first clair is clairvoyance. This is one of the main ways people think about intuition. This is the one that you've probably seen most common on movies and things like that. And that's when people have visions. So they have like this premonition or their dreams and they can kind of see the future. That is one of the ways your intuition can show up. Another one is claircognizance. Now, that is just like a knowing. You don't really have a vision or anything, but you just have this inner knowing that something's going to happen or this will happen or you feel like this. And then you have clairsentience. Now, this is when you have some kind of a sensation in your body. It could be goosebumps, butterflies, tingles. It can show up for different people in different ways, but it's a literal sensation that you'll have in your body when your intuition is communicating with you. And then the other clair that many people know of is clairaudience, and that's actually hearing a voice, not necessarily your own, either coming externally or coming from you internally of how your intuition is trying to communicate with you. Now, there are other ways your intuition can show up and share with you, but these are some of the four main clairs that people are aware of. And I always ask my clients, what and how does your intuition show up for you? First of all, there's no right or wrong way. It could be a multitude of things. For myself, I am claircognizant and clairsentience. I've one time had clairaudience where I actually heard a word come from my intuition. And there's been a couple times that my dreams have given me little insights. But for the most part, I show up as clairsentience. I have this feeling when I speak or say different things or write different things, it'd be a confirmation within my body confirming, yes, you are on the right track. Yes, do this. Yes, etc., etc. I also consult with my spirit team, is what I call it. And for myself, my spirit team consists of angels, guides, ancestors. Now, depending on where you are in your religion or your spirituality, whatever that looks like for you, know that there's always a higher purpose, guidance, those that have gone before you that are cheering you on. And when you are able to tap into that, whether you call it Holy Spirit, God, universe, source, ancestors, guides, know that they have your back if you have called in those of your highest timeline. So that's something to be very important about is when you are communicating, when you are interceding, when you are holding space for a higher knowledge, a deeper truth, know that it's already in you. And a lot of times it's us remembering what we already know. So when we come onto this planet, this 3D Earth, very dense, heavy energy, a lot of us forget our magic, our gifts, our intuitions. And depending on your upbringing and class and gender and race and all these different things that society and man has put into these constructs is going to dictate how you navigate through this life. But know that the intuition that you have is always available to you, and it's up to you to remember and relearn what that is and how that shows up for you. Being open to receive different nudges or insights, and always asking for a deeper knowledge that already exists within you. So one of the main things I like to do when I am seeking an answer or wanting more guidance is a technique called the freeze frame technique. It's actually proven by the Heart Math Institution, which basically it's a device that you can connect to yourself that tracks your HRV, which is your heart rate variable. It's basically helping you to understand when you're in your parasympathetic, which is your peace, rest, digest state, which helps you to get into more coherence, which is essentially more alignment. You're able to take in more information. It's almost a different kind of meditative state that your body is trying to communicate with you, that is communicating with you. So when you get your body into this state of coherence, into this state of alignment, into this state of ease, you're going to be able to get more clarity. You're not in your fight or flight, which is your sympathetic. You're able to take in new information. And especially if you're being intentional about being open to whatever it is you are whatever is helping you guide you through this next chapter. So the freeze frame technique is basically when you put your body into coherence. Now you can do this by meditating, by deep breaths, and understanding how and what the best way for you to get into your ease parasympathetic nervous system state is also really important. And we've talked about this before. It could be grounding, it could be breath work, it could be journaling, it could be watching sunsets, listening to birds, getting by the ocean. There's many ways to stimulate your vagus nerve that will help stimulate you into your parasympathetic. But dropping into your parasympathetic state could be as simple as thinking of regenerative thoughts, such as joy and peace and happiness, remembering beautiful moments that brought you lots of peace. Reflecting on those will help to drop your heart rate and open you up into a deeper coherent state. Once you are in your coherent state, you really want to focus on your heart space, because our hearts is one of the main ways we send out electromagnetic energy. Like our brains, we think, which is they're powerful as well, but it's really our hearts that are continually communicating with our brain and our gut. So focus on your heart space, doing deep breaths, really sitting in that space of ease, and ask the question, whatever it is you're dealing with, how should I move forward? What does this look like? What should I do next? Whatever that is, you can ask intuitively your heart space, your higher intuition, and just stay in that state of receiving and listen. It could be a word, it could be a paragraph, it could be an entire dissertation, but being open to receive. Or maybe it's not even something you hear immediately, but just know that you've asked your higher self, your intuition, and you will get an answer. It's usually pretty soon. And when you get that response, thank your higher self, your guides, your ancestors, Holy Spirit, source, whatever that language is for you. Write it down if need be, but move in that direction, knowing that you are being guided by your intuition. So these are just some of the ways that tapping into your intuition doesn't have to be this big, arduous, long, drawn out 21-day yoga retreat, silent meditation. It could be you just simply taking a moment to breathe, get into a coherent state, however feels good for you, and asking your higher self, asking the self that has come in with your highest intention, your highest purpose, with its main goal, and then listening and moving in that direction. That is all we're covering today for intuition. I hope you learned something. Drop in the comments below which Claire, if I mention one of them, claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience you operate with, or if there's something else that you notice for yourself, the way your intuition shows up for you. And until next week, my friends, bye-bye.